Since 1978, the Florida Classic has drawn over 2 million fans to support the two Florida Division I HBCUs, Bethune-Cookman University out of Daytona Beach and Florida A&M University from the state's capital of Tallahassee. Battle it out for state bragging rights at Camping World Stadium. Formerly called the Florida Blue Florida Classic, it is the essence of a rivalry game, but it's so much more. The Florida Blue Florida Classic is the annual rite of passage for FAMU and B-CU fans. It pits co-workers against one another, fans against each other, and yes, even families are split down the middle between maroon and gold and orange and green. Since its inception in 1978, the rivalry game, which has been played since 1925, has seen FAMU win 23 times and B-CU win 19 times over the last decade. The game has been absolutely dominated by B-CU, winning 8 of the last 10 games. The Wildcats reeled off a record 9 straight wins against the Rattlers. However, FAMU has dominated the last 2 meetings, and they hold a record 19-game win streak against B-CU in the overall series. This year, the importance of the game is no different. On November 18th at 3:30 p.m., kickoff of the season finale for both schools goes down in Orange County and is for Florida bragging rights for the next very long, I might add, 365 days. Our first stop on the road to the Florida Blue Florida Classic is a stop in Daytona Beach. Our very own Von Wilson reports from the world's most famous beach.
After a separation from former head coach Terry Sims, there was a small misstep before landing with an experienced coach in Raymond Woody Jr. Athletics Director Reggie Theus welcomed Woody back to the Pride. He was a former standout player for B-CU, and now it was his turn to take the reins and bring back Wildcat football to its prominent status it attained in 2010 and 2013 as Black National Champions.
HBCU Gameday here with Coach Raymond Woody after a spirited practice and scrimmage. Coach, just talk about how well your team did today.
Well, I tell you, all 3 aspects, the guys played clean, proud of them for that. They bend a little bit but didn't break. Obviously the adversity with everything you can think about, whether it's the weather, whether it's guys are going down, we stood strong and fought through adversity.
B-CU held their first scrimmage of the fall last week, and HBCU Gameday was on site to capture the action from the first-year head coach, and he wore a mic for us for part of the practice.
That's it, that's it. Everybody up, everybody up, everybody up, everybody up. Hey, everybody up, everybody up. Hey, good job, fellas, everybody in. Hey, right quick now. Now we're getting ready to start the scrimmage, okay? Everybody listen. This is a game situation. Everything goes, all right? Everything goes, all right? So make sure you're doing the right things so we can stay legal on all sides, okay? Everybody's clean. We're gonna go, have a great scrimmage, guys, and then we're off the field, okay? Let's go, everybody get in here tight. All right, let's go. Let's go, 1, 2, 3, finish. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, hurry up, move around. Hey, wrap up! Touchdown! Yes, call it. Good job, good job, good job. Well, with what we do and how we do it, we have personnel groups where we can go fast, we can go slow, we can get into 12 personnel, 10 or 11, and it's up to us to make sure that we're executing on all cylinders. Now, looking at our tempo, a lot of it was, just really being basic, but I thought our guys, executed. Obviously, it's not as good as you think. It's not as bad as it looks, but at the end of the day, watching film throughout practice, I thought we moved the ball pretty good.
The Florida Blue Florida Classic is the final game of the season. Rest assured that it holds a spot in the mind of the B-CU head coach as the season progresses.
Well, you know what, honestly, everybody know in Wildcat Nation and Rattler Nation that's an important game, but that's not the most important game right now. You know, obviously the first game of the season is Memphis, and that's the most important game on our schedule, and we'll worry about them later.
Another big plus for the Wildcats this season will be the first on-campus practice field in years. Capitalizing off a $1 million donation from NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley, Athletic Director Reggie Theus garnered additional support from the community and the city to make the facility a reality. Work is full speed ahead, with B-CU expected to begin practicing on the field in mid-September, with a late September completion of the entire structure. Traveling north on I-95 and west on I-10, we land at the state capitol, where the Rattlers also held their first scrimmage of the fall.
The scenario at FAMU is the polar opposite of B-CU. While many expect this to be a rebuilding year for the Wildcats, the Rattlers have a target on their backs. With back-to-back 9-2 regular seasons under head coach Willie Simmons, they were picked to win the Eastern Division of the SWAC, unseating the Jackson State Tigers, who dominated the league over the last 2 seasons.
So, scrimmage 2, about to go get some good work in. Almost game time.
Yeah. Let's go then. Yeah. 8-1.
Scrimmage number 2, man. Let's work.
Roll and rock. Let's go. We relentless today. Relentless competition today. Let's go. Rattlers team ready? Ready. Rattlers team ready? Ready. FAMU. Woo!
Well, I feel great, first and foremost, to be back in my old stomping grounds. You know, we did this in 18 and 19, brought our first scrimmage here to Corey Field, the field that I started playing football on. And I played high school ball on, so to be able to bring the team here, kind of let them see how I grew up, the school I attended in high school, to play in the field that you know, we made memories on is a great feeling. And pleased with the scrimmage, obviously, did some good things on both sides, got some things to fix on both sides. But a good start, and then we'll watch the film and we'll see what we can get better.
The Rattlers return a veteran squad led by SWAC preseason Offensive Player of the Year quarterback Jeremy Musa. With a talented receiver core and a solid slate of running backs from the spring, the Rattler offense is expected to roll.
But right now we're focused on tomorrow. You know, we had our first scrimmage, so we got to get back, get the film watch, make the corrections, and then figure out how we can come back on tomorrow night and be better, you know. So again, if we think down the line to September 3rd, we'll miss right where we are. So we have a saying about being where our feet are. But right now, our feet are on the practice field, game field, after the first scrimmage. And so the focus is, how can I get better from this day? And if we stack days on top of each other with that mindset, come September 3rd, we'll be where we need to be.
Even Simmons, who is focused squarely on the JSU Tigers, who have given the Rattlers their only FCS losses over the last 2 regular seasons, understand the importance of working the seasons toward the finale, which is the Florida Blue Florida Classic.
Well, you know, that game has huge implications regardless of whether it's a championship on the line or whatever the case may be. It's our in-state rival. And you know, there's some fans, right or wrong, who would rather go 0-10 and win the Classic as opposed to go 10-0 and lose the Classic. And so, yeah, as a football team, obviously we can't think that far down the line, but we can think about what it takes to prepare ourselves to be ready in that game. But that means winning today. And so, you know, the old coach speak, one game at a time. Well, no, it's one day at a time. But I know there are 11 games on the schedule that we got to prepare for. But if we take the emphasis of winning today, win tomorrow, win the next day, and just keep stacking good days on top of each other, when it's time to play Jackson or Alabama State or Southern or whoever we play, and then the Florida Classic, we'll be the most prepared team.
The Rattlers have some new digs of their own at Bragg Memorial Stadium. After a $10 million renovation over the last 3 years, the stadium has a brand new scoreboard and the PA system, ready to accommodate those rowdy FAMU fans. So much football is to be played before the Florida Blue Florida Classic. 20 games combined between the two schools, to be exact. And HBCU Gameday is here to keep up with it all. Next time, we'll check in with the superstars of halftime, the Marching Wildcats and the Marching 100. This is the road to the Florida Blue Florida Classic, exclusively here on HBCU Game Day.